Okay, I should be live. I'm just going to do a few tests just on the background. But I think it should be okay. I will test it out just a little bit later. So let me kind of show you what's going on. Now, welcome back to Sniper Gains. On this channel, we mainly focus on how to use the CRT model to make money trading futures. Now, in case you've never seen what I've done before, I highly recommend you check out my streams, my Asia stream and my London stream. You'll start to see how I use the CRT in action. Now, there has been one thing that's been catching my eye right now. It's what gold is doing. As you can probably tell, gold is going down pretty hard. So what I'm anticipating is a clean CRT setup right about now. So this right here is what I consider the 8 a.m. accumulation hour. This is the manipulation hour that swept it. And over here, it was able to create a nice fair value gap that I want to take advantage of. So the way I'm going to do this, because this is such a very great opportunity in my mind, right? I'm going to go for it. So the risk to reward is about 16.16. So I'm going to keep an eye on this play. And because I've been keeping an eye on this play, here we go. I know I'm kind of rushing it. I just want to make sure I'm in a good position for this short, because what I'm anticipating is price is going to skyrocket up, fill this gap right there, then push down. Now, of course, it could go up, take me out, and that's completely fine. But for this play, you will see we are on MGC. This is 6 points, so that's roughly $60 per micro contract. With this one, since I'm in a good healthy balance of $4,364, I'm willing to risk about $120 over here. So I'm going to put 2 micros equals about, $120. And let me just check the audio on my phone just to make sure that everything is clear. It should be, but I got to check. Okay, so I'm back. I'm going to set the sell limit order right about now. And it's going to be for 2 contracts. So the idea is, like I'm telling you before, I'm anticipating that this price is going to go up, fill this gap, drive back down. Now, this is important because if my intuition is right on this one, obviously anything can happen. It could probably just go wipe me out. This play right here could be a 10R play if it goes according to plan. If it does, it could be like a 10R trade, which I've been trying to hunt for a long time. So I'm just kind of keep an eye on it for sure. I'll still look at other CRT setups, but gold definitely has my my full attention because it does not usually give a clean setup like this. But we'll see what happens. I'm just kind of Just want to make sure I'm ready, because I was going to just take this trade without it being on live, but I'm thinking if this trade goes the way I think it might go, obviously it could literally just wipe me out, but if it does go the way I think it is, we could possibly turn this trade from a 5.77 to about a 10R move if it does what I hope it does, but we'll see what happens. I definitely want to really pay attention to what gold is doing. But while we wait for it to cook, let me just show you how we did last week. So we're going to go to our performance stats. You'll see last week, even we played a lot of defense, so our wins were not as big as the second week wins, but we had a green week, meaning there were no red days. Obviously, there were a few losses in here, but by using good risk management, we came out on top at 575.37. My goal, hopefully, this week is to end the month strong, so that way I can get some more payouts on both this account and this account. So that's the goal, but we always stick to the process first, and the payouts will come. Now, let's take a look at this. So this is going to be the gold trade. We're going to view it on here on TradingView so you can kind of see the idea. So the narrative is pretty simple. It's below the 50 EMA, which shows a bearish directional bias, and the SAR dots are also above. So whenever I see a combo of the parabolic SAR being bearish, and when the candle is below the 50 EMA on the 1 hour time frame, both of these on the 1 hour time frame, it means that there's a good chance that the price will drive down. Now, the thing about my trading style is I literally will hunt for the fair value gap that appears after the accumulation hour has been swept. Now, the way I treat CRT is pretty unique in that every hour can be considered an accumulation of buy orders and sell orders. Whenever I pick an accumulation hour, just like this one, which is the 8 p.m. hourly candle, immediately I have to draw these two vertical lines that will help me to segment what I like to call the manipulation hour. The manipulation hour should always be connected immediately after what you designate as your accumulation hour that you want to test out. So since I want to test out the order sweeping on this hour, I draw my vertical lines from 9 to 10. And then from here, I zoom into the 5 minute, look for the first 5 minute bearish 5 minute fair value gap, go for the fill, hopefully it holds, and if it does, target the bottom right over here. So that's the goal. Now, the reason why this one does catch my interest a lot is because it has a good risk to reward, and it's gold. It's it has not been as easy for me to get a clean CRT setup on gold, especially of something of this, like this huge RR setup. So that's why I'm really paying full attention to it. I'm just waiting for it to kind of push up. We'll try to see if it will tap and hold. Hopefully, as soon as it fills, it holds and does not take out the highest swing low during the manipulation hour. And oh yeah, and with all this stuff that I'm doing, please guys, do not copy my trades. Literally, I am a trader who is willing to put risk to make money, but nothing is guaranteed, right? Nothing's guaranteed at all. You could go and trade and you could lose everything. You could lose your brokerage account or your prop firm account. So please do not copy my trades. Instead, just see what I'm doing. Try to get the understanding of it. Obviously trade at your own discretion. If you lose money, that's on you, man. So this is like your official disclaimer. Okay? Good. All right. So while we're waiting, here are a few rules just to be aware of. We've seen the sweep, right? We've seen the hour. So this hour, 8 o'clock, would represent the accumulation hour. This hour from 9 to 10 represents the manipulation hour. And now this hour onwards are considered distribution hours. So the key thing is the theory, because of this bearish drive, we are anticipating that the market makers are purposely pushing price up to get people to kind of go bullish in order to get a better position. But whenever that happens, and when it leaves a bearish fair value gap, some way, somehow, this price point or this price action has a way to go fill the gap before hitting the opposing liquidity, which would be what we have the sell stops, or what we like to call sell side liquidity right over here. This is just a pattern I've noticed just trading it. Does it work all the time? Nope. But does it work a good chunk of the time? Yes. So my job is just to wait for it to fill, enter, and hopefully push down here. If it does push down here, I'm going to try to trail it outside of the box. So because that gives me a very unique edge in the sense that if anything came down, I'm willing to set my stop loss at around 2.88, which is still a very good risk to reward. But I am anticipating, because gold tends to move hard, that it has a really solid chance to hit a 10R. If it's set correctly, or if there's enough strong momentum, which I think it does have, it can be really good. So I'm going to put this right here. And now I'm going to put in the 10R. Okay, so we're going to set that here. Now this one's going to be unique because I've been trying to hunt for a 10R trade, because they actually do happen. It's just this would be a huge win if it was a 10R. So I don't want to put too much emphasis on it because, you know, nothing is guaranteed. So I don't want to get like emotionally attached to it. I'm just simply saying that this is an A clean plus setup to short gold to keep it going down. But I'm hoping and anticipating that it will fill this gap before hitting here. Because let's just say if price were to hit here, then the play is over. Because the whole goal with the CRT is whenever you sweep one side of liquidity, let's just say buy side, then you need to target the opposing side, which is going to be sell side. So if it's already swept it and it's already reached the target, the game is over. And that means I would have to look for another setup. So I'm definitely going to keep this one in my radar just to see if we get that fill. I will also need to put an alert. So that way when if it goes and touches here, that I can cancel the play and look for something else. But in the meantime, I'm going to keep that here and we'll see what happens. So let's take a look at silver, see if there's any saucy play on silver. Nothing clean yet on silver for me. Let's see on copper. Copper is acting weird. It's wanting to go bullish while I'm literally looking at gold going bearish. So for today, I probably will not have to trade copper because it's going to be kind of, I'm not going to say confusing, but it would be causing a conflict of interest because I've noticed that I like to call gold the king of the metals. Meaning, if gold's going down, I need to be shorting, whether it's if I'm on silver or copper. If it's going up, I need to be going long. So whenever copper does that thing where it inverses, I just don't trade it. I just leave it alone for the day and wait for another day. So that's the main thing that I have with copper. So copper will probably be a no trade today. And let me look at the other ones, see how the other ones are doing. Okay, so we got another setup here too on we have another setup here also on the yen. It's not bad. It's not bad because it does close inside of the range. Personally, for me, I like it when it closes deep in the range, like, you know, really like inside the box, not barely touching. That's just me. I've just noticed that is what I personally prefer. Now, this one is technically textbook, so it's not bad. I still think it's still good because it's below the 50 EMA. The SOAR dots are above, which signifies bearish momentum. So I'm going to keep an eye on that and see what it will do. So I'm going to put this on the side. And let's see if they formed a fair value gap. If I'm looking, it did not form the fair value gap by 9:55. So this one would be a dud because every hourly candle, it needs to close. Yes, but it also needs to form that fair value gap. So it needed to form the fair value gap by 9:55, not after. So this one is a no deal move for me. And I will at some point need to create a video that shows, how you guys can trade the CRT, the sniper gains way, but I have to wait for it to do its thing. So we'll see if this one will reverse to tap me in. If not, it's all good. I'll just keep hunting for other setups today. Okay, NQ. I don't like this sequence right here. It looks like it's consolidating and there's a huge gap. So my concern is it'll probably consolidate, and then at some point start to go and push. So this little sequence right here, not feeling too comfortable at all. Because if each hour that keeps going by and these accumulation of hourly candles are just stuck, it puts me in a weird position where it can most likely drop just to fill this gap and I can't go counter trend. So this one is most likely going to be a no trade today. So it's mainly going to be a battle between the currencies like 6J, if it gives me a good setup, or the metals. Let me see if the other ones are looking good. So give me 1 sec. We'll take a look at crude. Yeah, crude oil. For my strategy, I'll keep an eye on it to see if it is able to overpower these bearish SOAR dots. So I'll keep an eye on this, but I won't really just trade it immediately. My main focus is to look at gold and keep my full focus and attention on that gold short. I just have to hope that this price action does not sweep here before tagging me in at this zone right here. So it's going to be unique and it's definitely going to take a little bit of patience and discipline. But if this play goes the way I anticipate, obviously it could literally go the complete opposite way. It would be a huge trade. Like a really big winning trade. A 10-hour trade doesn't just always appear every day on gold. So that's why you kind of see me paying attention to it a lot. So let's see what that price action does. And yeah, I'll keep you guys posted on the progress. Okay, I'm looking at gold's price action right now. Looking at this candle right here. So we'll see if it's strong enough to keep pushing to fill the gap. So we're going to keep an eye on it for sure. Right now it's kind of struggling to push past this barrier, but I feel that the price action is going to muscle through it, fill in that fair value gap, hopefully hold and drive the price down. That would be epic, but nothing is guaranteed. So if I've not emphasized how important this is, when it comes to trading, it's a very heavy risk business. So if you're trading and you don't like losing money, don't trade. Just don't do that to yourself, because this is a very, very risky business. So if you're not willing to stomach losses, do not trade. It's very important. So, and the reason why I have to say that is I don't want you guys to be copy trading what I'm showing you. I want you to understand the theory behind what I'm doing, because that's what's going to help you to like maximize the full potential of the CRT method. It's just all depends on the setup. It's definitely a unique setup. It's unique, it's different, but as you can see, this system has really changed the way I trade. Is it a perfect system? No. Look at that win rate. A lot of people who would see a win rate like this might not feel too comfortable trading an edge that doesn't have a very high win rate system. But where it shines is going to be right here. So for example, just to kind of give you an idea, this was created in August, right? And then I would go over here. Bam. So even with a 40% win rate, we've been able to make $4,764.36. The reason why is because of this right here, the average win to loss ratio. You know, the cruel reality is that you're not paid based on your win rate. You're paid based on your profit factor. So even though this is not a glamorous win rate by any means of the mind, it shows that you don't have to have a high win rate. You just have to have a really good risk to reward system that gives you a high risk to reward, where you can be able to compensate for the losing trades significantly higher through catching big trades. So we'll see what happens. And while this is cooking, I'm still going to be checking other tickers just to see, so that way we are aware of it. I'm going to go type in MGC. And then I'm also going to put an alert right about here. So that way, if it touches the top of the box, then that can alert me to get ready. So in the meantime, let's take a look at 6S, see what they're working with. So over here, it's kind of choppy. So that's not the best environment for me to be trading my system in a choppy environment like this. So we may have to take a little pause on the Swiss franc. This one definitely has a potential to be really good. I just need to get a clean setup on this. That's the yen. The ES is again stuck in this consolidation zone. I don't feel comfortable trading in this area because I feel like it could be a clean setup just to drive price to fill in this gap. So I don't want to be in that sequence. Like, I do not want to play that game. So that's why I'm going to have to kind of pause today on NQ and ES and mainly focus on anything else. Literally. So let me see what else we can do. Let's take a look at the euro. Okay, the euro is going to be a little tricky. And the reason why I say it is because, yes, it's technically above the 50 EMA, which is a bullish directional bias based on my strategy. Yes, it has the bullish the bullish SAR dots, or the parabolic SAR dots underneath it, which represents bullish momentum. But the only problem is the distance between here and here. The closer the parabolic SAR dots are to the hourly candles, the more likely it's going to flip direction. So this one, I'm going to have to take a little pause on this because I don't feel comfortable trading that price action. The only price action that I really genuinely like is this right here with gold. So I'm going to just keep waiting, seeing what we're working with. And then from there, we'll be able to see what happens next. So I'm going to just put this on pause. I got to drink some water and I'll be right back. Okay, sorry about that. Let's see what we have because I feel like that was on mute. I'm sorry about that, guys. Okay, so I'm going to be checking these other tickers as well as we wait for gold to do its thing. Now, the way it's looking, it seems like gold is most likely going to sweep this area before sweeping here. It sucks, but if it does hit here, then we have to cancel the setup. So we'll see what happens. Definitely appears that price is most likely going to just keep going down. So we'll just keep our fingers crossed to see if it will start to go back up to fill the gap. But if it doesn't fill the gap, it's a donezo. Okay, so I'm looking at the price action. It seems like price wants to sweep this spot, but you can tell like this candle right here is forming a hammer candlestick. So there's a good chance it'll cause price to go back up a little bit more. And if it does, I'll see if it'll tag this area right here. So if you take a look, we're going to zoom in a little bit. Now we want to focus on this candle. See how they've pushed price down quite a lot, but the buyers are starting to step back up. So when that happens, there's a good chance that price is going to start to go up a little bit because it shows that there's a lot of buying pressure. So the question is, will this buying pressure on this candlestick be enough to reverse price? That's the $1 million question. That's the part that there are no guarantees on. But I'm hoping the price will go back up, fill this gap, and then drive price back down towards the bottom of the 8 o'clock hourly candle. So it's unique, but it's definitely worth seeing what happens next. Now, one key thing I have noticed about HG, I'm not going to trade it tonight because unless this completely reverses, but I personally will just more be a spectator when it comes to this one. It's because it's completely going in the opposite direction. And I don't like going against gold's primary direction. So in this sequence, all we're really going to have to do is just wait and see if we'll get a nice clean opening. Now, this candle formation did not form a clean CRT model because the 9 o'clock hour, it would have swept above the 8 o'clock hour, but it wouldn't have closed inside, and it needs to close inside to trade this specific CRT model. So because it didn't do that, and it's more being choppy, I'm more having to sit on the sidelines to see, investigate, and see if it makes sense to take the trade. So for right now, it's just me waiting for an opportunity. Okay, so on this one, it's just the yen, but the yen hasn't given me a clean setup to go short because the way this one's moving, there's no fair value gap on this one. On this candle right here at the 9 p.m., it doesn't have a 5-minute fair value gap. Because it doesn't have one, it means that we're going to have to kind of wait on this setup. Okay, I'm going to take a look at gold again. Try to see if this candle now is going to start to push past this, what would you call a double top formation if you really want to get super technical with it. So this is 1, and then that's 2. So it's like a double top on the 5-minute. Ideally, we'd want this to create enough bullish pressure to blow past it to fill this gap. So let's just see what happens. Okay, it does look like it's starting to pick up momentum and pace on that candle. So we're going to go look at the official chart. Now, mind you, I've seen the time and sale stuff. I don't genuinely use it. I think I don't use the time and sales tool yet because I haven't really figured out how I can convert time and sales to flow with my strategy in a way that's much cleaner. So I keep it to the side just to kind of gauge activity. Like right now, there's a lot of bullish momentum because a lot of the orders are green. But at the same time, I'm seeing a lot of reds too, and they kind of have similar numbers with each other. So that's what makes it a little bit tougher when I've been trying to integrate time and sales. So I know it's important. I'm just in a place where I'm like, it hasn't helped me yet, but I'm always open to seeing if there is a way to use time and sales to improve my CRT, specifically knowing ahead of time which fair value gaps will hold, then I'm all for it. But for right now, I'm just taking a look at it, trying to see what's going on. And if I start to see something significant, then I'll chime in. For right now, we're just going to take a look and just keep watching. Okay, so progress report. We're still looking at this price action. It seems like it's more favorable to just go and sweep the bottom of that 8 a.m. hourly candle, but we'll have to wait until it does. If it does, no problem. I'm willing to walk away from the trade. From the trade setup is the more appropriate thing to say, from the trade setup. But we'll see what happens. If price does touch the bottom of this box, we need to exit the play and look for another setup. Because when I'm looking through the other tickers, I'm not seeing any good setups that are compatible with my particular CRT model at the moment. Now, silver is looking to possibly create a good setup. It all depends on how this hour closes and how the next hour opens. If the next hour opens at the bottom, then there's no play. But if it does take out the swing high, then there's a possible play for us to go short. So we have to wait and be patient to see how gold responds. Because it's all about gold. If gold keeps going down, we follow the trend. Now, as I'm looking at the price, I am starting to notice a few things. First thing I'm noticing is that when this candle pushed towards over here, we got a lot of bullish pressure. And now it appears that it's starting to go back up or slowly climb back up towards the top of the 8 a.m. hourly candle. So that's what I'm seeing. But we'll see what happens, because it could easily be just a simple accumulation of orders just to drive price even lower. So that's the one key thing, is I'm not sure what it's trying to do in terms of this consolidation, whether it's just to go up. Hopefully that's what it does, or just to drop all the way down. So that's the gray area that I'm in. But it just looks like it wants to go up, or maybe that's my bias. Who knows? The key thing is we have to see what it's going to do next, especially in the next an hour at least. See if price is going to finally start to pick a solid direction, instead of it just going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So price isn't really doing anything right now. It's just consolidating. So I'm just kind of curious if the buyers will buy it back up, or if the sellers will win this battle by driving price towards the bottom of the 8 a.m. hourly candle. So right now we basically have to sit on our hands, right? This is part of the process of trading the CRT method, is that many times I'm usually having to wait for a few hours for my setups to form. But when they do form, some of them become big winners, some of them become minor losers over a long period of trades. And that's the key thing. I always do my best to make sure that my winners are much bigger than my losers, because that's what's going to help me with the current win rate that I have in the system. So that's one key thing that I want to emphasize is you don't necessarily need to have the greatest win rate in the world. You just need to have a good risk management system, stick to your strategy, follow the game plan, and just get better every day. So that's one thing I will say about this system is it has taught me a lot of patience. It has taught me a lot of discipline, and it's taught me to have a very strong mind, especially whenever you go and you're in deep profit, but you've not hit the target. To have that discipline and say, hey, we're going to hit this target no matter what, it goes a long way because it helps you to level up as a trader. So this trading style is not for everybody. Like if you prefer nice, quick gains, quick scalps, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just with this specific strategy, it's more designed for people who want a systematic way of trading, but don't want to fall into the trap of over trading. So that's why I personally created this system for myself. But then what I'm doing now is just wanting to share with everybody how it works, at least like the general framework of how it works. So that way you can be able to see if you can implement it into your trading and see if you might see an improvement. That's the whole goal, right? It's just you look at certain videos and try to see what nuggets is this guy teaching about, or gal is teaching about, that I can actually implement to my current strategy to improve it. So this style, it definitely has helped to improve more of my mental mindset of being able to fully commit the risk before even touching the game, or the trading stuff. So that's one key thing I will say. It has forced me to learn how to look at the risk first before I trade. Like now it's more automatic because I understand that I can treat this as a casino, or I can treat this as a business. I choose to treat this as a business. So that's why I personally restrict myself to not taking no more than 3 trades in a day, even if it's a mistake trade. That's what keeps the system profitable, because I have to be very hyper selective of all the setups that I go for. So it's pretty big, pretty huge. Yeah. Okay, so I want to see how price is going to react to this resistance zone because we obviously have some resistance right here. Now, this, I don't want to count it as a gap. This is literally more of resistance. There's a lot of resistance right over here. So I'm just kind of curious to see if this is just an ascending triangle forming to just push it out of the way, or if this is something bigger. So what we're going to have to do is just, we got to keep waiting. This is part of the strategy, just to wait on our hands until we find the right setup. Okay, so as we're taking a look at this candle, you'll see it's starting to struggle as it's retesting this resistance zone. It is struggling, there's no doubt about it. I just want to see if the buyers will step in and keep pushing price even higher. Okay, guys, I will be right back. Give me just a few minutes. I have to attend to a few things, okay? See you soon. Okay, so we're taking a look at the price action so far. It's still stuck in this consolidation phase. So I'm just kind of curious how it's going to break out of this zone. Will it do a quick push upward, or is it going to just drop down like a rock this way? So we'll see what happens next. Hopefully something happens soon, because right now we're at 10:33. In the next 30 minutes, there should be another big surge of volume, hopefully, going into the next hour. So hopefully that can kind of get it moving in a direction. While we're taking a look at gold, let's see if the other tickers are providing us with interesting price action. Okay, so obviously we're doing a little bit of waiting. Now it is going in a very lethargic pace. So what I'm going to do is I may have to do something else to kind of take up 30 minutes. So let's see what we can do. Okay. Slowly but surely, it seems like it's gonna push past this barrier right here. So we just have to remain patient, vigilant, and just be ready. When the time comes, we have to be able to attack with high accuracy, you know? When it comes time to do this, we need to be ready to take advantage of that opportunity. So the main focus right now is that blue rectangle represents the resistance that appeared on that 5-minute time frame. And I believe that with price action, it's most likely going to go push past this candle or this level that's marked with blue. I believe that there's enough bullish pressure to pop through that, fill this gap, and then push it all the way down. That's the goal. Okay, so it's starting to pick up steam, so we need to get ready. So just to let you guys know, I have 2 micro contracts for this play, meaning I'll be risking about 120 bucks, and in return, by simply holding to the target, like the original target, we can walk out. You can walk out with about 600 and change. Let me see, 682.52 as the total profit after the fees, and then 122.48 just in case it fails and it fails. It'll be 122.48 total cost after the fees. So with that being said, we just have to patiently wait. Once we wait and we get our entry, then we can be able to keep doing what we need to do. So here we go. It's chugging along, which is good. The goal is it needs to fill that gap that's marked with the yellow box. If price is able to fill that gap, push towards here or very close to the 5.7, then I'm going to raise my stop loss as soon as it hits here to the 2.86. So no matter what happens, we will have enough runway to push price down. So that's the hope, but that's is not a guarantee. So at the moment, it seems like the price action is stuck at this level right here. So at the moment, it seems like the price action is stuck at this zone right here. Now I'm hoping that it will pick up speed by breaking past this resistance zone. However, we have to keep waiting for price action to keep doing its thing in order to break out of this resistance zone. So I'm going to be honest with you. I knew that sometimes Asia session can be slow sometimes, but gold has been been on a very good, has had some pretty intense price action. So for it to be this lethargic is kind of like a little bit of a bummer, but it's part of the strategy. It's part of the strategy for me to follow the game plan. So in this case, we just have to wait for that candlestick to hit that zone. So it seems like at this moment, I've checked all the other tickers that I typically would trade, and I haven't really found any setups yet. So what I'm going to do is just pause for a little bit and see what else we can do to get this thing to work. So right now, I'm going to switch to the hourly time frame just to see what's going on within this hour on a much bigger scale, much bigger picture. I meant. So let me see what we're working with. I'll go over here. We're going to click 1 hour. Nothing much. It looks like a regular suburban family, middle income, who are pulling about 75 to about 100K per year. Okay, sorry for that long hiatus. I'm not gonna lie. This has been a very long price action. However, unfortunately, it went all the way up and pushed all the way down. Now, with that being said, I'm going to take a look at the other one just to see if I can find any good price action that I can use. So, I'm really surprised that copper has been maintaining this bullish state even though gold is plummeting. That's crazy. So I'm going to be paying attention to that, just try to see, okay, what's going on here? Why is it holding price when it should have gone down? Either way, that is the main thing. So it's only been 1 hour and 38 minutes. So I'll still give it about 2 more hours. And if I can catch something, then we'll take the trade. If not, it's all good. Okay, guys, I think I'm going to have to wrap up the stream. I need to kind of give myself enough rest to see if there's any good play for London. Hopefully, I can catch some good setups on London. Yeah, because right now I'm not really seeing any setups yet. I was really hoping that the GC setup, which was this one right here, would have done this, would have gone, filled this gap that's labeled with this white or this yellow box, and then push downwards. But because it didn't do that, it might take some time before it can form a nice fair value gap or a nice bearish CRT model. So I do need to consider if I'm going to possibly have a London session stream just to be able to pay more attention to the price action, and hopefully the price action will give me something that I can use to enter, because I can't force this setup. So I'm just going to wait it out by just walking away, and I'm going to try to see if I can get back up later on for the London session to see if I can catch a good setup. So that's it, guys. I'm signing off.